Morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Daily Spark. Um, okay, thank you for the grace of a day off yesterday. I didn't do I left a little note, but I didn't do a video yesterday, um, honouring my need to have some time off. So, um, I might just go back to maybe my first video where I shared. Some of you may not have seen that. We've got a lot of new members in the group, or quite a few new members. We're still a small group. Um, and I talked about being a manifester, and honestly, until more recently, I've really kind of not honoured those rest urges that manifestors need. So I've kind of tried to bring my work into the world through pushing, and rather than just a sense of ease of doing what feels right for me. And so that means that although this is the daily spark, I don't always have my daily spark as a manifester, and so therefore, um, I am straight up front not promising that this will be daily. It will be um, when I have the urge to jump in and do this. And right now, I'm really enjoying doing it, and I'm loving getting some of your feedback, either in the group or directly, on how things are landing as we go through each of the different frequencies of the days. So feel free to continue to share either in the group, or if you would prefer, I'm open to you just sending me a DM, just giving me some feedback on maybe what landed, what you're struggling with at the moment, or even just some feedback on what else you would like to see in these sessions. So today I am going to jump into a few things, but I want to also try and share my screen towards the end so that you can see what a chart looks like in the daily frequencies or daily transits. So the other thing as well, just before we move on, is that feel free to. I can always get this message about the video not being great quality, so hopefully it's okay. I've tried to close everything that I can. So yes, please feel free to share this group with anyone that you think will get benefit out of these daily sparks or daily broadcasts. And not everyone I know is on Facebook or wants to be on Facebook, so I've also started sharing these on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. I'll post a link in the comments below this video, so that if anyone would rather watch on YouTube, they can. Essentially, I make these videos for you guys in this group. I tend not to share them in my main page or anything like that. But I share on YouTube. I don't really have any following there, so it's really just if you guys prefer to watch it there, or if you want to share the link with anyone who's not in the group or on Facebook. Okay, so let's just, before we move into today's profile flavour, sorry, the other thing that I wanted to say again that I made comment on in the first video was that I will at times read from a script, so not going to hide it, but I put a lot of work into giving you the right information, and I just want to make sure that I'm transmitting it fully rather than sort of skipping things. So you will see me read from some prepared notes every now and then, and sometimes I'll just freeball, which hopefully I'm going to do a bit later when I share my screen. So all right, so let's re-anchor the terrain that we're currently standing on. So we're still moving through the channel 3740, which is the channel of agreements, emotional bonds, and right exchange. So this frequency continues to surface questions around where you give, where you belong, and whether the energy exchange in your life is actually fair. So I've heard from a lot of you in the last few days that this theme is highly felt right now. So, and it's no coincidence that this appears around Christmas, the time of family connection, and it then starts to bring up these feelings of, is this a fair connection? Am I getting from this enough? Am I giving enough? So there could be feelings of guilt, there could be feelings of frustration or animosity if you're not feeling like you're getting what you need from particular relationships. And I guess being around this time of year, it really does put it in front of our faces, like you can't avoid it, I guess. So I guess my message to you is give yourself some grace as you move through this very potent energy. If you're finding things that aren't easy or finding things aren't easy at the moment, ask yourself, what is the purpose of this dis-ease? So I always like to ask myself, if all of this is happening for me and not to me, what would the purpose be? So what actions can I take to move this feeling from pain into purpose? Sometimes it's hard to take on, or it's not always easy to take on that reframe of something you're in the moment experiencing. But if you do get some time for reflection, I find that it is always a good question to ask myself. Because I do believe everything happens for us, not to us. So certainly that's how I've navigated a lot of difficult things that happen in my life, and I find by having that particular attitude that I'm able to move that feeling of that negative feeling, I guess, that you might be feeling into something that is a bit more powerful and positive and gets you moving forward and adjusting things in your life that aren't serving you anymore. It doesn't mean make rash big decisions unless you've listened to your decision making authority, and that you're able to do that. Of course, in life we do need to make big decisions, but particularly if you've got an emotional authority, don't make decisions in the moment. Give yourself time to reflect and ask yourself those questions before you make big decisions. And when you're feeling calm, then move forward in the best way or the best process for you. All right, so now let's talk about today. I'll lightly touch on the Sun in Gate 58 and the Earth in Gate 51 now with a line 4 flavour. So both are now expressing through this line 4 energy. And then, like I said, I want to try something new and try and share my screen. So fingers crossed that all works. So with the Sun in Gate 58 and in line 4, we're reminded that this gate is all about aliveness, the instinct to improve life, not through force, but through joyful correction. So in its line 4 energy, this becomes relational. It's about uplifting people through presence, optimism, and shared vitality. So at its highest expression, your joy becomes contagious for those around you, and improvement happens through connection. So this is when it is a good time to be with other people and have that connection and try and identify those points of improvement. And it also could be that others feel better simply by being in your energy. Line 4 is all about connection, network, other people. But in its shadow, it could look like over enthusiasm. So remember, this is both yourself and people around you. So think about how you've seen people around you act in this energy as well. It could look like trying to lift people who aren't asking to be lifted. So again, in the shadow, and then it could also, as a shadow frequency, be spreading energy too thinly across social obligations. And I know for a fact this time of year many of us are doing this, and I've heard from some of you that are. And so today is a good day to think about how are you spreading yourself too thinly, and to make really aligned decisions for you in terms of those social obligations, and don't feel like you have to do all of the things that are expected, um, because yeah, that's just, we don't have to do that. That's just made up. Someone's making us feel like we have to honour those social gatherings that perhaps at the time we don't want to do. So particularly if you are spreading yourself too thinly. So really consider that. So the wisdom here is simple and grounded. Your joy is influential, but it must be reciprocal to be sustainable. So yeah, are you getting back what you're giving, or are you giving as much as you're getting? Okay, so let's move into the earth in gate 52. So we're in the energy of intentional stillness. So it's not stagnation, but the ability to hold focus so that something meaningful can take shape. In line 4, this stillness becomes relational and influential. It's not about retreating from the world, it's about creating calm that others can feel and lean into. So in its highest expression, you can model grounded presence. Your steadiness regulates group energy, and focus becomes contagious rather than forced. People may feel safer, clearer, and more resourced simply by being in your field. But in its shadow, you could become stuck in comfort. You could stay still to avoid disruption. And you could be waiting for consensus before moving and not listening to your inner guidance system. So the wisdom of this gate in line 4 is stillness is powerful when it serves forward direction, not when it is delaying the truth. All right, so the combined frequencies of these two gates means that joy is acting as a steadying force, stillness is stabilizing, and influence happens through presence, not pressure. So it's not a day for pushing outcomes, it's a day for regulating the field so the right movement can emerge naturally. Okay, now this is where I'm going to try and share my screen. I may just have to minimize that and maximize that. Let's see how we go. Alright, I don't know if it's going to let me. Bear with me, people. I know you can do it before you start your live, but I don't seem to be able to find that button that was there before. What a bugger. Okay, what I'm going to do, is I am going to log off and start a new live. Yeah, that's what I'll do, I think. Yep, I'm going to end this one and I'm going to start a new one with my screen shared from the beginning, and we'll jump right back in. See you soon.